Well, it's an image that none of us will ever forget. The worst election announcement in terms of optics in political history. Drowning Street, Rishi Sunak standing there in the pouring rain. Things can only get wetter, drowned and out, getting absolutely soaked. There he is in his £4,000 suit. I think it's by someone called Henry Herbert, and he wears Prada. He wears very expensive clothes. Now that suit, I've got experience of getting caught in the rain, in heavy rain, in an expensive suit, and it kind of ruins them, to say the least. I don't think Sunak will be wearing that suit again, and we're not talking about shrinking because it's where it's all the lining comes away. You end up with all these lumps all over it. Don't get your suits wet, folks, because they'll be ruined. But I'm wondering if it is possible maybe to fix a suit like that. Let's talk to fashion expert Maria Malone. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Kevin. You're right.
Hey, I'm good. Can you fix a suit that gets that wet?
You can. It depends how it's been constructed. What you're talking about is the interlining that's been
Yeah, yeah.
fused
You
to
end
the
up with
outer
all these
fabric,
lumps. I know this from experience. Go on.
because the interlining can bubble away from the base fabric. His suits are probably handmade and probably hand basted, so you've got layers and layers of fabric stitched on. So actually, it is probably recoverable. Now, the
Mm.
worst thing you can do is get it dry cleaned because it's a damp suit now. It needs to dry out thoroughly in a well ventilated room
Mm-hmm.
and not in any sort of a bag because that will just produce
Right,
um,
right.
mold.
Yeah.
So
So,
needs to dry it in a well ventilated room,
so,
and
so,
then when
so,
it's dry,
how
hang
long would
it.
that take to dry? Like maybe probably a week or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it would take quite a long time to fully dry.
Mm.
But it not you shouldn't stick it back in the wardrobe. It needs to have space and air around it to dry out.
Okay. After that though, then you dry clean it, right?
I wouldn't dry clean it. I wouldn't dry clean it at that point because the rain itself will not have
All right.
stained the garment. So minimal dry cleaning. I would dry it. I would maybe get it professionally repressed.
Yeah, you
That
need it
would be
pressed. Yeah,
a good
yeah,
thing. And then it's good to go again. This is
yeah,
probably one of the most expensive suiting fabrics. So it's probably 100% merino wool,
yeah.
and therefore will last and last and recover and recover. If you think about the wear and tear on a good quality wool rug, we stomp all over it, we drop our dinner on it, we drop our wine on it, and
Hmm.
it still bounces back. And a good quality suit will do the same.
Yeah, let's talk. Well, years ago, when I was a dashing young reporter, a long time ago, on Fleet Street, I had a suit. I had a suit. It was a little bit creased, and so this friend of mine said, "What you want to do is right." He said, run a really hot bath, hang the
Yeah.
suit above it, and the steam will kind of bring back. You'll freshen it up. You'll get rid of the creases. So I did that. The trouble is that when I walked in, when I went to check on it an hour later, the hanger had fallen off the bar that I put it on, and the suit was in the bath. So it was
Better
kind.
than in the toilet, though, isn't it?
Well, I guess so, but it might as well have been because it was completely ruined. What makes a good suit, Maria? Because I'll tell you why I ask. I mean, I'll be honest. I spend a few quid on suits now, here and there. Well, quite a lot actually, and I don't find they last that long. You know, after a year or so, or even less, they start to get a bit shiny. They start to look a bit old. But I
Yeah.
read Prince Philip, R.I.P. He was wearing suits when he was 90 that he bought when he was 20.
Yeah.
What is it
Agreed.
about those suits that lasted so long? Is it the quality of the material? And
It
also,
is.
if you really want to get a top-notch suit, do you have to get it tailor-made? What's the story? What makes a good suit?
No, it doesn't necessarily have to be tailor made. It's the fit. So a good quality suit starts with the base fabric. And in my opinion, the very best fabric for a suit is merino wool. That has a very long staple length and it will weave beautifully and it will weave very thin fabric. So it will keep you cool in the winter,
Mm,
in the summer, and warm in the winter.
mm.
That's to start. That's the start of really good quality merino wool.
Yeah.
And then we need to think about how it's constructed. We just discussed fusing interlining onto the fabric, which is with heat and pressure. That's the norm these days. But the Savile Row tailors will still base that on. That allows a little bit of movement. The beauty of having a tailored suit, tailored to fit you, is that all your sort of body deficiencies can be accommodated. So, for example, my other half has an accident where one of his shoulders is lower than the other from a cycling accident. He came off at speed. It's never looked the same since. So he would have extra padding in one of his shoulders to even up his body. Other men with a nice big beer belly can hide that with a well-fitted waistcoat, and that will really disguise that beer belly. And if you've got a long body, you can have it cut so that the jacket is slightly shorter, making the body look shorter and the legs look longer, and vice versa. You'll never see Rishi Sunak in a long line jacket.
I
He's too
know.
little.
I know, I know. Listen, Maria, great to talk to you. Really good advice. Really excellent. Thank you very much. Maria Morello, the fashion expert.